Realistically, nowadays getting into Maryland as both a freshman and a transfer student is pretty competitive. But folks, I think there's a myth that it's easier to get in as a transfer student. That's really not the case. They usually admit about 8,000 freshman students, and then even more in the spring. So there's usually maybe north of 10,000 students who are admitted as freshmen, and then only about 4,000 of those students actually come in. Transfer student numbers, it's more like 8,000 apply for about 1,700 seats in the fall, and about 3,000 apply for sometimes even fewer than 1,000 seats in the spring.
So I've been on campus as a teacher for about 4.5 years, and I think there seem to be fewer transfer students here than previously. Of that smaller number, more of them tend to be out-of-state transfer students. I think that a part of that is just the budget is always an issue, and out-of-state students obviously cost them more to be here than in-state students. I think that will continue as a trend in the next 5 to 10 years, where there'll be kind of a similar number of in-state students, but trying to bring in more and more out-of-state students to make up for some of the budgetary costs of work.
I think one of the biggest advantages for students who go to community college for at least a year, if not two, before coming to Maryland, is it really helps them with the transition. In K through 12 education, they don't necessarily teach you how you're expected to learn in college, but what a lot of students find at a community college setting is that they're smaller classes, their instructor's first priority is usually teaching, and so students are really able to make sure they're learning how to learn the best way they can, and they really get more one-on-one interaction with the teacher. And ultimately, I just think it makes them become better self-advocates to then come to a bigger school such as Maryland and do really well here. I think one of the disadvantages for students who transfer is kind of a perception from a lot of different folks that the classes at the community college aren't quite as rigorous, which can then affect students who do transfer in a number of ways. For example, our pre-health advising office here on campus does work with helping students get into medical school, nursing school, dental school, and they've actually run numbers to show that only 3% of students who start at a community college and do their foundational science work at the community college actually get into medical school right away. So graduating in May, starting medical school in the fall. A lot of students in that boat end up having to take a year off, maybe more than that, do a master's program, and a lot of that goes back to the medical schools thinking that the community college science is just not as rigorous at a four-year institution. Not all of us necessarily believe that, but